Alright, welcome back to the shop. Came back from my little vacation to Texas to watch Formula One and got my dimple dies delivered, so I was able to finish the transmission mount and get them all bent up, dimpled up, welded up, and send it to powder coat. So for the meantime, we're going to take a little detour and work on non-DCT related mods. So one thing on my list is right here, this lovely big sway bar from Hotchkiss, and I need to get this installed. But I hear it's very common for these mounts to break off, mainly because there's not enough steel, and then the big bar wants to pull the stud out. So we're gonna have to make our own reinforcement plate for that. And then the other thing that needs to happen is my weight jacks over here. This side got messed up in an accident, and so it's not adjustable anymore. But and my friend was nice enough to buy me a new one, a new set. The new set right here, except this is a newer design, and this screw, I guess, causes a lot of problems because this taper or whatever this shoulder is right here doesn't fit in the OEM trailing arm hole, and this is looks like 50% longer, and I don't need to have it that long, so I'm gonna cut it shorter and mill a hex on the end so I can still easily adjust it. And the last thing to do, which probably won't get done till tomorrow, is I got new springs for this guy, so I'm gonna take my time to figure out how hard or easy it is to replace this spring, because I've never taken it apart before. So probably start by unbolting all the wheels because they all need to come off, and then slowly decide on which corner I want to start on first. Okay, so I pulled the sway bar out, and we're going to take a few measurements to CAD it up so I can cut it out. Well, first I'm going to CAD it up and then 3D print it to make sure it fits properly before I cut it. And so I just need a plate that is the same shape as this flat piece down here, and I need these two hole locations for the studs, and I probably also want these two holes so any water that gets trapped can still drain and not sit there and rust its way through. And I really hope that this side is identical to the other side. But yeah, I'll take a quick measurement to make sure that's the same. So alright, so the other side looks pretty identical. I don't see why they would be different, just mirrored. So I'm gonna head home, CAD it up, print it out, have some dinner, come back tomorrow, and hope it fits. Worst case is a little tweak that I can make really fast in Fusion, and then I'll be on my way to cutting it out on the plasma table. So see you in a few seconds. Alright, we are back at it again. Got my transmission mount back from my powder coating guy. Looks great. But the real reason we're here is this lovely 3D printed template that we are going to find out right now if it fits. Looks like the holes are a little tight. That's fine, we could drill those out, but overall I think it's pretty damn good for what it is. The water drain hole still all lines up. The bolt holes for the most part are in the right place. Might do a little trimming up here, make it a little smaller, but that's about it. I think it's ready to be cut out and welded up. I got these reinforcement plates welded in. I think I'm gonna call it a day here. Let these paints dry and then come back tomorrow and bolt in the sway bar finally. Alright, the next thing we're going to be working on is this spring perch adjustable height thing here. So let me take this off to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here are my two spring perches. This is passenger side and it's stuck. This is what it's supposed to be like, where I can rotate this freely. But this side's stuck. So I have a new set. But you can see how this pin is like twice as long. So I'm gonna try to take one out, at least probably the good one, to see how long this one is, the original one, and then make this new pin the same length. Okay, so I quickly pressed out the old screw and we can see that it is that much shorter. So I will probably cut all of this off and cut a new hex key on top. And as you can see, this new one has this very small hex compared to this very large one on the old one. So probably go back to the old ways and make it a bit larger. I think these turned out pretty good. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. It's a tad bit shorter, but I think that's what I wanted. Oh, there you go. That way it looks more better. Yep, and then I went ahead and added that feature on the lathe afterwards. Now I just gotta press it back into the bearing and reassemble this whole thing and throw it back in the car. Got it all reassembled. I don't have it torqued down, so because I don't have a good way to clamping this, I don't want to throw in the vise. So what I'm going to do is put it back in the car and use the knuckle down there to grab the cylinder, this sleeve here, so I can torque it to spec, just like what I did to get this nut off in the first place. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take the other side out and do the same thing, and that should be it. Alright, I got shocks back in, sway bar back in, fixed the weight jacks in the rear. So that's pretty much all I was trying to get done in this episode. I know I still need to adjust the sway bar and then adjust the weight jacks. That I'm going to do later because I'm going to corner balance the car before I take it to alignment, and that's when I can straighten out the sway bar and the weight jacks in the rear. But for now, that'll be all for this, and then back on to the DCT swap, because lo and behold, I got this back, so I could throw this back in and start wiring and software tuning this, and hopefully getting running within a week.